Yeah, welcome back. MYDO Tackle Talk. I know I have not been here for a while, been very busy with the sardine newspaper and building websites and all that kind of stuff. Lots of fun, but not as much fun as the MYDO. Love making these things. Today we're talking about the physics of the MYDO, and in my hand over here, I've got Brian Davies' thesis about bait swimming, and sorry, about how a fish swims by using its head. It uses hydrodynamic principles, which Brian knows all about. He was a scientist in this stuff. And he explained to me and in that thing how these things work. So I'm going to show you here with a nice big one. This is quite a big MYDO. It's got a 5 ounce weight in it. Can handle a bonito. Can handle a big bait. These are mainly getting prepared here for, you won't believe it, Kevin Bremner. Yeah, he's even getting MYDO to make lures for him. He's going to Club 15 at BD. Kevin, you better watch out for those kids catching all the kuta off the beach there. Dwight's lattes. They should be in school. I hope you catch kuta off the beach there too. I'm sending you some spoons and stuff for that exact job. But in the meantime, we're talking about the physics of these things. So as it works out, it uses hydrodynamic or almost aerodynamic principles, because the way Brian explains this is there's an aeroplane wing type thing going on here. And when you put it in the water and it starts to move, automatically or immediately, as it rocks, you'll get a high pressure on this side if it rocks this way, and a low pressure because it's sucking down. And you get a high pressure over here on this side, and then you get a low pressure over here. And that makes it go like this. As it starts to go, now it starts to go side to side. Then as you get a bit of speed up, as you get to the right speed, because this is the crux of the whole matter, physics, you can't go too fast with a big bait. You've got to get the exact right speed to that bait. And it's better be defrosted or fresh and be absolutely perfect. No rigor mortis, and there must be articulation over here. The trace must be able to move. That's the whole trick with the bait swimmer. That the whole lot actually is moves because it's articulated and joined at the over here. So the physics of the thing mean that they can swim a bait beautifully by imparting that action that is generated now hydrodynamically to the bait, and then it makes the bait swim, as you can see in this picture over here. Here's the most important part. Yeah, we're going to pick up a little smaller MYDO. Okay, this thing, once again, high pressure, low pressure, and it starts to move as it goes through the water, and eventually it starts to act a bit like a Rapala or a Helka, whatever you want to call it. But this takes skill. Bait swimming's an art. Otherwise, any fool could just put a shad on you and it would go. That doesn't work like that. You can make a bait swim with a bait swimmer, but if you want to actually swim, you want to put life back in your bait, as Brian Levy used to say in the old days. That was his payoff line. Then you need to follow the conformities or the restrictions of physics. So, a big round bait, like a bunny, dead. But as long as he's loose, he will swim just like on the 4 ounce or the 5 ounce, but he won't go very nicely on the 3 ounce if he's a big bunny. Now, when you go smaller, etc. And the speed is the most important part. So as you get out there and you put your spread, so you've got your daisy chains and your little tiny fillet MYDOs, like this one, and that's on the top. And that's all just playing there nicely. Nice and slow. Now you're going to get your bait out, your proper shad, and you've got a half beak, and it's defrosted, and he's in such good shape, and you put him on one of these things like this. You put it in the water, and you watch how it swims. Then you can tune the skipper. This one's looking good, eh? Oh, I get the other bait. Get the next one ready. Maybe it's a sardine, maybe, I don't know, whatever your spread consists of. Hopefully it's a mackerel, a shad, a sardine, a red eye, and a half beak. I don't know what you got. Then eventually you get all these baits swimming perfect, and then you can start putting them out into the spread and getting the depth right, because obviously you want to have some deep ones right at the boat, because the fish come straight to the boat, especially when you got my MYDO flashes on the edge here like this. You see these things are important. They make your boat look like a shoal of fish. Don't put it on your kayak. It will be a silly thing to do. But even when you're trawling rapalas, I learned from my mate Maida in Torfu, Barra. We used to fish together there a lot, and he liked to use rapalas. And I go fast, when I'm going to go and catch tuna or live baits, I'm trying to go 6 knots off. I'm going. I want to go. I put all those baits out there. Rapies go deep. Not Maida. He would get there and put these rapalas out and start the boat going like that, and he watched the tip. And he at about 2 knots, or maybe 2.5, he'd go, yeah, that's the right speed. And his rod would be just going like this, and he would get his strikes. In fact, he got as many strikes as I did, or anybody else did. But he chose his speed in particular to get the most action out of those wobbly lures that he was using. Same here with the MYDOs. Sure, you can put a strip bait on here and just go, because these ones are meant to, well, they swim as swim baits at slow speed, but when you go, they come up to the top and they go like this on the top. They look really good, especially when they're in the flying fish configuration, which I will show you over here. So, physics limit you in what size bait and what speed you can go. The main thing is the state of the bait and the fact that it can swivel over here nicely. And just don't forget that part. Okay, you can buy these things all over the place, but the best plan is to hit the WhatsApp button on the website, thesardine.coza, and that comes straight through to me. There's another WhatsApp button on MYDOfishinglures.coza, and that's more for international clients, because it's very difficult for me and international. But don't worry, I'm going to London soon to set up a distribution network there and a little factory. I'm not too sure when I'm going, probably after the sardine season, but then we're going to be able to service places like Japan and obviously the Americas, Canada, and that market that's so big that I can't send these things there. It costs much more to send them than to make them, or to sell them anyway. If I sell 2,000 rands of these to go to Japan, it's 3,000. It's crazy. So we're fixing that problem, but I'll talk to you about that in a episode coming up. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And this is the first of many, by the way. I should be making traces while I'm talking, but this is going to be the first episode, and then from now on I'll make traces while I'm talking. Okay, lekker. Ciao, ciao.